Okami is an action-adventure game developed by Clover Studio and published by Capcom in 2006. It started out as a PlayStation 2 exclusive title, but after the developing studio's closure a few months after release, another studio ported it into the Nintendo Wii as well. It was later re-released as Okami HD for a wider variety of consoles and even for the PC. The game takes place in classical Japan, where you're playing as the Shinto sun goddess Amaterasu, who took the form of a white wolf. She's trying to restore Japan from the darkness that enveloped the land. The events of the game are inspired by real Japanese folklore and mythology set in Nippon, which is just Japanese for Japan, beginning 100 years before the current events of the game. The narrator tells the legend of how the white wolf Shiranui and the legendary swordsman Nagi defeated and sealed away the 8-headed demon Orochi in a cave to save Kamiki village and his beloved Nami. In present times, a mysterious figure removes the wards from the cave, releasing Orochi back into the land of Nippon once more, twisting it into a dark and dangerous land. A wood sprite by the name of Sakuya prays for Amaterasu to save the land from evil, and she takes up the form of the white wolf Shiranui to do so. Accompanied by the wandering 1-inch womanizer artist Isun, they begin to restore the land to its true form. On her journey, she meets all types of interesting people, from the annoying Waka, who always interacts in a way to make you suspect he may be the final villain of the game, to Mr. Orange, the elder of Kamiki village, who believes his dance will make the cherry blossoms bloom again, and also everyone else in between. Susano, descendant of the legendary swordsman Nagi, is peer pressured into the whole situation since everyone believes he'll be the solution to the demon problem in the land. He'll be met along the path a few times, usually in trouble of doing even basic things and deciding to sleep instead. Also hiding in the constellations are the celestial gods, who help Amy learn new techniques in order to defeat the darkness using your celestial brush. One by one, the regions are saved by Amaterasu and her inch-high samurai, and the confrontation with Orochi is getting close at hand. The demon demands a sacrifice from the village in the form of Kushi, who Susano is in love with. Sadly, we learn that the mysterious figure responsible for letting evil back into the land was in fact the legendary failure Susano, because he hated the fact that he was supposed to be as legendary as his ancestor, and he refused to believe the legend of the demon, so out of spite he removed the wards. Thankfully, with Kushi becoming the sacrificial lamb, Susano gathers all his power and helps slay Orochi with Amaterasu, thus saving his love and riding off into the sunset. But the story does not end here, since the spirit of Orochi flees into the north and the white wolf decides to follow. Many adventures await them, first in the Ryoshima coast, then Seian City, which is the capital of Nippon. There they meet with the priestess Rao, who Isun also wants to bang obviously, who sends them all around the area on behest of Queen Himiko. They travel to the underwater dragon palace to soothe the seas and kill the water dragon, who turns out to be the rightful king of the place, twisted by the darkness of the demonic corruption. After all the aquatic adventures, however, we learn that Rao has been dead for a while now, and the evil demon fox Ninetails has taken her form to trick us into helping her regain her full power. She murders Himiko and retreats to Oni Island to plot her evil plans even more. Of course, a nine-tailed fox is no match for a white wolf and a wandering bard, so she gets killed, but her spirit flies away off into the north, much as the same as Orochi did. So you follow. After the arrival in northern Kamui, you assist the shape-shifting Oina tribe in defeating the twin owl demons Lechku and Nechku, who created a deadly blizzard that threatens to destroy the whole land. After the ice starts to dissipate, Amaterasu finds the wreckage of a flying ship, the Ark of Yamato, which belongs to the long-dead Moon Tribe, a race of celestials gifted with long lives. Waka reveals himself to be part of the tribe, and they escape to Earth from the celestial plane when Orochi attacked them. The presence of demons in Nippon was also thanks to this event, since upon crashing into the planet they managed to escape and start conquering after massacring the whole crew. Upon the Ark, you have to defeat all the previous bosses you encountered, since their spirits returned here, and you finally meet the mastermind behind it all, Yami, a fish-like creature inside a fishbowl inside a huge mechanical death bowl. He's the leader of all demons and responsible for the deicide of the heavens. After a long battle, Yami gains the upper hand, draining all the power from Amaterasu, nearly killing her. But we learn that the real power we had was really the friends we made along the way. So everyone starts praying and believing in the gods once more, granting you your true potential to defeat Yami. Peace and happiness returns to Nippon, and Amaterasu sails into the sunset with Waka by her side back to the celestial plane to rebuild their civilization. I adored Okami from beginning to end, the cel-shaded graphics that look like those traditional East Asian ink wash paintings, the beauty of the world, the humor, the music, the sound effects, the characters from major to even minor ones, everything. All the chapters and maps are huge, and for a PlayStation 2 game the length feels very ambitious, but they still pull through. The gameplay and the combat doesn't feel hard at all, sometimes even maybe a bit too easy, but since the combat is varied between normal attacks on different types of weapons and the added celestial brush combat, it never feels boring. Some of the side missions and collectibles are repeated a lot, but it doesn't make you feel hindered if you decide to skip the digging or fishing. A lot of the non-obligatory side content is interesting enough that you want to go for that bounty hunting job even for meager coin. With every new celestial brush technique added to the game, puzzles become more and more varied and interesting. You start up with a basic stroke materializing as a sword slash, but later on your 3 horizontal lines atop each other become a windstorm, or a crescent brings up the moon. There is also a hefty amount of platforming connected to the celestial brush, which becomes more and more interesting every time you learn a new technique. Early on you're only able to draw a lily pad onto a water surface and build yourself a bridge from these water lilies, but later on one would be sufficient enough, since after one water lily you'll be able to just conjure up wind gusts to bring you along the river or lake, for example. As I mentioned earlier, the game is heavily inspired by mythology, but not in a direct sense all the time. For example, Susanoo is the god of storms in the Shinto religion and the brother of Amaterasu. In the legend, Susanoo slays the 8-headed and 8-tailed dragon Yamata no Orochi, who kidnapped his wife Kushi Nadahime. We have the same thing happen with Susanoo being the drunkard descendant of the legendary swordsman who slays Orochi to save his life Kushi. Very minor changes to the original story while still keeping Amaterasu as the only goddess, thus keeping the tale intact but grounded. Very few games can make me emotional, but I have to say, Okami certainly managed to take my breath away even only for a few seconds sometimes. And now to the part where I give my final verdict if a game is worth it still in my opinion, or you need your nostalgia glasses for it. Before I got to play Okami on stream, I didn't even know of its existence, so no nostalgia was needed for this. It was and still is one of the best games I have ever played on stream. It really is a video game I would recommend to anyone regardless of age or any other factor. One of the most interesting things about Okami in my opinion is that the most people I spoke with said that it is in their backlog and they want to play it but never got to it yet. A lot of my viewers even left trying to avoid spoilers because it is a game everyone wants to play but never gets there. So if you're looking for a sign as to what should be the next you go for, this is it. Play Okami now. So if you're looking for a game where you play the white wolf slaying monsters for meager coin with an annoying traveling artist by your side, this is it. Wait, is this just The Witcher? So, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and feel free to check out any of my previous videos. Check the links in the description to guide you to me playing through these games live. Be there when the magic happens. But until then, have the rest of your day. But easy. E to the Z, to the Z, Z, E, Z. Nothing can stop me now. Oh!